How is everyone doing tonight? This is Stacking Wins, first ever podcast, first ever episode of Stacking Wins. Whether it's a small win in your life or a huge win, we're here to talk about it. And if y'all have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. I know George is in the background. He's kind of the administrator of this live stream here tonight. Ted, how are you doing today? Mandelbaum, it's good to see you. Dr. Dennis, welcome all our builders. This is the largest gathering of builders, and I'm happy to be a part of it. I'm not getting engaged. Thank God, Ted. I'm not ready for that yet, but maybe in the future. I'm open to it, but you know how it goes. Women are women, man. Yeah, I'd have to agree with you on that one, Mandelbaum. You know a lot about it. The interview you did with George was great. Got us a lot of hits. I think one I posted yesterday got us close to 200,000 views, actually, Mandelbaum. So that was awesome. Absolutely. Thank you. So has there been any small or big wins in any of you all's lives lately, this week, this past month? Send you a check. Hey, might have to whenever they start rolling in for me too. Women should propose to men, Ted. Yeah, that's one way to look at it. The Florida Panthers won the Stanley Cup. That's cool. I'm not a huge sports guy. Never have really been. Because been watching George's content way too long, right? Yes, Ted. I am extremely blessed. I've been watching George since I was about 14 years old or so, 13 or 14, and I've learned a lot of wisdom. A lot of it is useful. All of it's useful. Some of it you still have to learn the hard way, though. And I've also done my fair share of that. And I'm sure there's plenty more to come. Smoke a pipe yet? Yes, Mandelbaum, I have. George actually got me onto that as well. Stay away from the crazy. Yes, Ted, for sure. Rob Simmons, good to see you. God is good all the time. Amen to that. Smoking kills. Well, you know, there's a lot of things in life that does kill a man. And I think issues regarding relationships, women, divorces, breakups are probably higher than smoking, to be honest with you. And besides, we don't really smoke, we puff. But being born has a 100% fatality rate. Amen to that. That is super true. Yes, we have a lot of builders here tonight. So what's been going on in you all's life? Where are all the good women? Well, there's good women out there, but as George always says, you have to vet them for their ability and propensity to want to build something that outlives both of you. And that is a pretty hard task in itself. Anyone can join the stream if you want to talk. There's a link George just put in the chat if you would like to join and talk tonight. Good evening, Terry. How are you doing tonight? We are talking about building wins. There's not a massive theme to this week's episode, as it's the first one. But as the weeks go on and on, we'll have more specific topics to talk about. Um, Wins in my life, obviously, in the past 6 to 9 months, I've gotten to know George a lot more. Social media has been blowing up. I think we just hit 350,000 on Instagram the other day. So that's been some pretty big wins in my life, as well as preparing to fire my boss. Watching, Jonesy and Frank Guerin and all of them. Um, they have the new podcast, Fire Your Boss. If you guys have not checked it out, you need to. It is fantastic. And I know George is switching a lot of his stuff over to the business side because we're all trying to win. We're all trying to make you guys a lot of money. That's what needs to happen. Yes, everybody is invited onto the live stream. If you would like to join and talk, we can talk about anything, any kind of questions you guys have. Whether it's about relationships, whether it's just you want to talk about a win in your life, we can talk about that. If you just got a new job, etc. Or if you want to talk about social media growth, we can also talk about that and some of the things that I've found to be useful and some things to avoid. Joseph C. That's amazing that you found George through my page 8 months ago. I was not very big 8 months ago, so that's awesome. I appreciate you for being a builder. Joseph the Builder. Mandelbaum, if you want to come on over, man. Absolutely. Also, if y'all want to know anything about Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube, feel free to ask away, as I have found out a lot more about that stuff in the past 3 months than I have my entire life. Mandelbaum, how are you doing today?
I want to thank you for the all the views you got me. Hold on a second. Let me see here. Let me get rid of this. Okay, I think that was good. I want to thank you for all the hits you got me through posting up the show.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. Yeah. That's what we do best.
I didn't realize you were this young.
Yeah, I'm 19 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're doing good, kid. You're doing good.
Every day is a step in the right direction. A lot of mentors. George has been a really good mentor for me.
You got the best.
I obviously have been watching your chats for years now in the live streams and whatnot. So
can I ask what kind of work you're doing now that you're trying to fire your boss?
Right now, I'm actually a lead at a local retail store. I run the fulfillment department of that.
The film?
Fulfillment. Yes, sir. Packages. Yeah, you're good. But yes, right now I'm a local lead there, and I run the fulfillment, all the packing, shipping, all that kind of stuff.
Well, you're way ahead of your contemporaries, my friend. At 19, you're very mature, and you're certainly headed in the right direction.
Well, if you're young and you're 19, as long as you have a good work ethic and you stay determined, you can pretty much achieve whatever you want to in life.
Yeah, well, those are major accomplishments for somebody 19.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you. Jonesy, how are you doing today?
My bad. I had two windows open. Here I am.
You're good. How are you doing?
I'm good. Good. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely.
Don't be so humble, man. You're behind the scenes running all of our empires here.
I don't know about all that. I'm trying to, but I still stay pretty humble about it all.
Well, there is definitely something to be said about that. But no, I just want to give you credit where credit's due, helping us out with conversion chemistry, fire your boss, shutupkaren.net, making all that social media juice flowing all the time.
Absolutely, and I think it'll just continue to get bigger and bigger as we go on. There's a lot of things we got planned, and there's a lot of things that I want to do with AI and whatnot, and I think that we can make this big.
Just remember, Sam, that AI is not copyrightable,
Absolutely.
so you can't protect that.
Thank you for that information.
Mr. Mandelbaum, it's refreshing every time we post an episode of anything, and you're popping right in there, right after we say we're not attorneys, we're not accountants, and you got the wisdom to set everybody right where we're not experts. I love that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm like a bad penny. I keep showing up.
Hey, that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's right side up, and we keep picking it up for good luck.
That's right.
Well, Sam and everybody else listening, if you're going to be in your own business, and I'm sure Jonesy will agree, you got to have a team, and 3 of the members on that team have to be your accountant, your lawyer, and your insurance guy.
So let me ask you this: how do you feel about like the internet-based legal counsel systems that are out there?
Is that to Sam or to me?
Not to you, I guess.
Yeah, Mandelbaum.
Well, Sam, it's your show first, so I'll defer to you, and then after you say whatever you want, I'll say something.
Legal questions, I think, should be directly referred to you, Mandelbaum. You're the professional here when it comes to legal stuff.
All right. Well, depending upon the state, some allow virtual offices and some don't. There have been cases where they said it's unlicensed practice of law in another state. The thing is this: you have to get advice from someone in your state, unless it's a federal question, then they know that stuff. Like, what state can you, Jonesy? Can you say which state you're in?
Pennsylvania.
Okay, I mean, I don't know Pennsylvania law. I can find it out, but I have no right and no authority to give legal advice for Pennsylvania, whether I was online or in person.
Right. Clear. Thank you.
Makes a lot more sense, actually. So, someone from your state. Okay.
There are certain basic questions we can answer. If it's federal law, which applies obviously in every state, we can answer that maybe. But, you got to get somebody in your state because the law is very different.
Absolutely.
Especially as it might relate to business endeavors.
So what would be your top 3 first things to do, legal advice, whenever you're starting a joint venture with someone?
Before we get to the legal advice, maybe you might want to ask Jonesy that, since he's done them before.
Jonesy?
And so that's a very, very interesting question that you posed back on me, and I know you've weighed in on it a few times. My joint ventures typically end up being either legal entities on their own as their own Pennsylvania LLC, or sometimes we use inknow.com for a Delaware LLC. If we're selling online products, that way we don't have to deal with the Pennsylvania sales tax system, but rather we pay the franchise fee every year through Delaware. And others, they're joint venture, in my mind, but on paper they usually end up being partnerships where each LLC is still its own individual entity. With its own assets protected, or it's a subcontractor relationship.
Okay, there's a very important thing I want to say to everybody, whether it's a corporation you have or an LLC. You may be aware of this, you may not be, but there is an act called the Corporation Transparency Act that's been passed. It was passed a long time ago, went into effect in 2024. For any corporation or LLC that was formed prior to this year, you have by the end of this year to file with FinCEN, that's the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, what's called a beneficial ownership statement. If you don't do that, you can be fined $500 a day. And that's easy to do online. You can look that up. If you formed an entity this year, you had 90 days from the formation to file on information. So if you haven't done it yet, you better do it now. And that applies every state.
So, you know what? We did that, so we checked off that box, and I put a little blog post, and we did a newsletter about that earlier in the year because I feel like it was not being talked about enough, which is very concerning to me.
It was challenged in one state, and it might be Alabama, I'm not sure, but and the courts, put the nix on it, but that doesn't apply everywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
You got to do it because it's very expensive if you don't. Now, We're not going to see how rigidly they're going to enforce it yet, but it's a very easy step to do. The only information you basically need is to get off your certificate of incorporation, a certificate of LLC formation, and of course, your own address, and get on there and file it. And you only have to do it once unless there's a change in the information. But it's very important.
Wisdom as always from Mandelbaum. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Jonesy, are you finished on JVs yet?
What, as far as the topic or taking on JVs?
No. In response to what Sam's question was.
Yeah.
All right. Sam, you want an answer from me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Just like Jonesy said, you want to form a separate entity. Remember, JV is not a partnership. There are taxation differences, and you must have, by a professionally written JV agreement, to cover all bases. Otherwise, you run into litigation problems, all kinds of stuff. That would be my top advice. You have an attorney in your state do the JV, do the agreement for the JV. And now, if it's in an LLC, that's going to be what's called an operating agreement. If it's in a corporation, it's going to be a shareholders agreement. It's got to be done.
Absolutely.
The other thing is this: make sure you know who you're dealing with on your JV. Have them supply a credit rating. Have them supply a good conduct, whatever it's called in their state, that they don't have a criminal record, or what kind of criminal record they might have. You want to know who you're dealing with.
Absolutely. So, Jonesy, how is Fire Your Boss podcast going from your side of things?
Well, I mean, look, it's an absolute blast. It's checking off all the boxes of why I do things, which is one, I like doing it, right? In order for me to want to do something, I have to want to do it. Has sailed the ship where I do something I don't want to do, mostly. It's basically an exposition of our thoughts, concerns, successes, and failures. And all I really want to do is speed run people through my journey. I spent the better part of my life working the 9 to 5, working for other people. Making okay money, but never thriving. And, to those who want the chance to, everybody who missed the booth at Career Day that said, you can be rich by not becoming a doctor. Hey, we need our doctors. We need our lawyers. All right. I'm going to definitely stand up and say that. But somebody like me who, I have an entrepreneurial mind, and I didn't do amazing in the traditional educational institution. I was put in the boxes, and that's not life for a lot of people, and a lot of entrepreneurial folk cannot thrive in that situation. So that's why we do it. It's new. All right. We're going to continue it. We're going to empower as many people as possible. I'm going to hopefully have a discussion with the other gentleman and take a page out of what another entity called Alchemist Nation is doing. Alchemist Nation wants to create 100 millionaires. The next year, we just want 100 people to quit their job. That's it. We're going to start there. And also, full disclaimer, there's good bosses out there that should continue to be good bosses, because without having solid employers, there can be no industry, there can be no economy. So everybody can't just up and quit their job. And do we expect to have a thriving economy? No. Part of the tenets, part of the culture surrounding Fire Your Boss is, a culture of growth, learning, feedback, encouragement, and empowerment, which is something any supervisor can do really without a lot of effort. And it's, there's not enough of it. I know a lot of good employers, and they're models for how supervisors, managers, and employers should be, and that should be the norm. these soulless corporations are the ones that unfortunately set the employment narrative, the HR narrative, that kind of put, unfortunately, by default, a lot of good employers in a bad light, the word boss in a bad light. So we're looking to change that, one person at a time, one listener at a time, one entrepreneur at a time.
Absolutely. And where can everybody watch your podcast, Fire Your Boss, at?
Fireyourboss.win. That is the URL. So you can get to the YouTube, you can get to the Spotify, all the streams there. That's where you can find us.
Because you want everybody to win, right?
Everybody wins. We want everybody to win. Yep.
That's right. So what do you think about shutupkaren.net? How is everything going over there? What do you think about that?
Oh, you tell me. You're in charge now.
Engagement on Instagram has shot up a ton. I don't know if you saw that or not.
Mm-hmm.
So that's quite impressive. To be honest, I just schedule videos for like a week out, and then forget about it. And then I look back and I'm like, oh, we reached, 30, 40,000 accounts. That's crazy, But I think
you have a very specific methodology to it, which was that account was not doing a whole lot for a while, and you took some time to warm it back up. You took about a month to warm it back up, which was one reel here, another post there, throw a couple stories, engage with some other content, and then ramp it up, which is it's important, and it's something you've done with multiple accounts. We see it over and over again, and it never ceases to impress me that your methodology works on an algorithm that, let's face it, it's in ways unpredictable. They don't, Instagram, Meta, Facebook, Google, YouTube, they want us to think we know how the algorithm works, but it's still up to them. It's very arbitrary.
Absolutely it is. And I think it also depends on what your content is about. Sometimes
Sam, if I may ask, the retail outfit you work in, is that a chain store or is that an individual retail outfit?
I work at Academy Sports and Outdoors. It's kind of like a Midwest, Southern chain of stores.
So is it owned by the company or is it owned by a franchise owner?
It's a private-owned company.
Okay, here's why I asked.
Yes.
Being as though you're becoming the resident expert on social media, maybe you should pitch the guys what am in charge about you doing their social media and, making some money out of that. Might be one step away from getting out of there while still maintaining a good relationship.
Yeah, I actually did talk to our new district manager the other day. She was asking me about that, and she saw my social media pages actually, and I have more followers than they do, and she was wondering how I got all that.
Make her pay to find out.
Yeah,
absolutely.
For my consultation rate of blah 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 97, you too can find out.
Absolutely, I agree.
Once you get a corporate account, then it's easier to get more.
That's true. Yeah, I definitely want to look into that. Obviously,
because
I don't want
what you have working against you, as far as if you're dealing with the older people, is your age.
Absolutely.
If you can show them, forget how old I am, here are the results, here's the money you can make, then you got a different story.
Exactly. And I see that on Instagram all the time. There's, like 50-year-olds and 60-year-olds who've gone through a breakup or divorce, and they don't think they can learn anything from me, which is fine. I always send them over to George, but a lot of the young guys want to talk to me because I think that I have more experience with the young guys. So
let me give you a quick war story, if I may. I had a client who, at the age in mid-20s, started an electric and gas provision business once it got deregulated. And he hooked up with some guys, including me as his lawyer and some other people. He had his brain trust. He had his mastermind group, as it were. And in a couple of years, he made himself a multimillionaire.
Absolutely.
And now he's got a variety of different businesses. The guy's a natural entrepreneur, and he was only a little older than you. So what people have to realize there, it's not how old the person is, it's what they got in their head.
Exactly. It's all about the results that you can deliver, So, Mandelbaum, is there anything else going on in your life recently? Any kind of wins that you've been stacking?
Yeah, but I can't talk about them here.
Absolutely.
Jonesy, what about you? Any other wins you've been stacking?
I don't know if you can see. I got a black eye on Sunday. Playing hockey. I got sucker punched.
You got
How'd that
suckered
go?
up?
Well, I mean, look, the reality is I knocked this guy on his ass twice, and he took exception to that. So he decided to rip my helmet off and punch me blindsided. And I'll be seeing him again Sunday. So I'll be sure to report back in on how all that goes.
Sign him up for your course.
Yeah.
Is someone there to film it?
Charge him full pop for it.
Yeah, there you go. Is someone going to be there to film the altercation?
So I actually have a subscription to it's a streaming app called Live Barn that a lot of these rinks have, and you can see playback of the events.
Sounds like you're going to need a prescription.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that the truth? What about anybody in the chat? Any kind of wins recently, small or big? Do any of y'all have any questions for me, Mandelbaum or Jonesy?
Actually, yeah. So, are you looking to keep this show as a live format at a specific time?
Yes, we are. I'm going to talk more to George about that. I don't know. It'll probably be Thursday nights, but I'm going to talk to him about that, and we're going to find the best time to do it. But it will most likely be a live scheduled event. Yes.
Got it. Okay. Congratulations. I love it.
I appreciate that.
Yep. I do got to pop off because I am about to go play another game of hockey tonight. So
Keep your mask on.
yeah,
Absolutely.
well, that depends on the other guy, I guess.
Well, you have fun, man. Stay safe.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks for having me on, Sultan, Mr. Mandelbaum. It's always a privilege. We'll see you again soon.
Take care. So, Mandelbaum, is there anything you would like to know about my life or anything?
Yeah, how'd you get turned on before you met George? Were you turned on to social media?
I had social media. I never really watched much YouTube, nothing like that. I was homeschooled up until 7th grade. So I never really watched tons of social media until I was about 13 and a half or so. And I came across one of George's videos, and I just liked the way he presented himself. I liked the way he was trying to build people up, and I just kept on watching him. And fast forward to last year, he wanted more people to, chop up his videos and post them on shorts and reels and whatnot. And I was one of the first people to jump on that. And I posted 3 to 5 videos every single day. I still do. And I am living proof that you don't have to pay for advertisements. You can grow organically and naturally. It just takes time, and you have to be determined, and you have to be passionate about it.
Let me ask you a question. You said you were homeschooled. When you went from the homeschooling to the public schooling, what was the major difference? What was your reaction?
The major difference to me was one, how relaxed it was, and number 2, how easy the curriculums were. I stopped homeschooling, in 7th grade, so I didn't actually learn anything new inside of school. Obviously, I was learning outside of school, but I didn't learn any kind of curriculum until probably sophomore year when I was taking college classes was when I started learning some more, because the curriculums were just, shifted. Even in a small school like it was over here, I graduated with 56 people, and that was the biggest difference, was the ease of the curriculum, and then how laid back everybody seemed to be about it.
Can you say what state you're in?
Missouri. Yep.
So I have to show you then.
Absolutely. That's right. Yep. Southeast Missouri. Show me state, man. But yeah, that's how I got turned on to George. And I just started editing his content and posting it out there. And he noticed me, pretty quick, actually. And we just continued to grow from there. And now he's moved. He's still obviously my biggest mentor. He's also a business partner of mine with some upcoming stuff that we have going on. The Clarity Club. I'm like the administrator for that. So I'm behind the scenes, editing all the videos and getting all that ready for Clarity Club for our launch July 8th. And then I will also be doing a course or 2 on there specifically about social media growth if someone wants to take the steps that I took
Have you
and
thought
to
about doing an ebook on the subject and selling that?
I have, and it's something that I think I do want to do. I just haven't really done enough research into that to come to a
It's
conclusion
very
yet.
simple. Just do it in Word, and you can go on Amazon, and they have the software to load it up, and you'll be fine. Doesn't cost
All
you
right.
anything either.
Absolutely. Hello, what's your name?
Hi there. My name's Mike Steele. I'm a friend of George. I've known him for quite a couple of years now.
How are you doing today?
I'm very good, thank you. To be quite honest, I'm not quite sure what the stream is about. George texted me directly, and I know I've known him a long time, so I accepted. What do we got going on, gentlemen?
Absolutely. This is Stacking Wins. It's the first ever episode. It's kind of a Q&A, but we're just talking about winning in life, whether it's small wins, big wins. Has there been any wins in your life recently?
Absolutely. I met George and a couple of his other friends a few years ago at Donovan Sharp's Conference of Masculine Excellence in Las Vegas, and been keeping in touch with George ever since. And every once in a while, he and I chat, and he offers me some guidance. But ever since I joined a men's group of coaches and mentors, I have leveled up quite significantly. I was borderline unemployed, working like a help desk job, and now I'm a systems administrator at a very large resort in Las Vegas.
Awesome. That is a big win, man. Congratulations. We're all happy for you, and we're all cheering you on because we want everybody to win here.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Is there any kind of questions you have for me or anything like that?
No, not at this time. Just thank you, George, for the invite. Took me a little bit by surprise, but I'm prepared for anything George throws at me.
Absolutely. We're happy to have you on, man.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. NJ Prepper, welcome to the stream. How are you doing today, sir? Thank you for the congratulations.
Sam, let me ask you a question. From the you just finished high school, I guess, a year or so ago.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Is there anything at all that you learned in high school that you think you can apply to entrepreneurship?
Our high school was very lenient, so I would say hard deadlines and accountability, but high school didn't really teach me that. Most of my stuff I've learned off of, online, YouTube, George, etc. I spent most of my high school in a library doing college classes, and learning more online.
Good.
I think a lot of the teachers there as well are kind of tapped out. I think a lot of them are nowadays with the way that the world's moving.
Well, the unfortunate thing is the people that become high school teachers, no offense, guys, aren't the best lessons for entrepreneurship because they're the exact opposite of the entrepreneur mentality and character.
Absolutely. How are you doing today, sir?
And I think this gentleman wants to lower his camera a little bit. There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you? What's your name, sir?
Not too bad. This is the infamous John Boston. Mr. Bruno invited me in.
Awesome. How are you doing today?
Not too bad.
We're talking about stacking wins. Have you had any wins in your life recently?
Stacking wins. Well, yeah, I think after going through a divorce, I went back into being a trader full time, and done pretty well with it.
That's awesome. Do you have any? What are your top three? Your top three things to do if someone wants to start getting into trading? Like, what are the first three things that you'll recommend them to do?
Well, I was originally doing equity trading, doing long short trading, but I always wanted to trade options for income because I was going to buy some real estate, and then the numbers weren't working. So then I started trading primarily SPX options, the big SPX options, for monthly income, and it's turned out to be better than going out and buying real estate and dealing with tenants on a on a monthly basis.
Are they like regular call and put options or binary options, or what kind of options you trading?
I'm mostly doing bearish call spreads and bullish put spreads, and doing iron condors and diagonals.
Okay.
Some calendar spreads sometimes, and some butterflies. But,
All right, Sam, you want to ask me that question about traders?
Yeah.
Because that's what I've been doing since I even before I retired from law. I'm a swing trader, which means I don't day trade. I use a longer period of time.
Absolutely.
The first thing is, if you like to gamble, if you like to go to a casino and gamble, don't be a trader. If you are a very emotional person that gets really high when you win or really depressed when you lose, don't be a trader.
That's right.
Two major ones. Also, fight the desire to trade too much. People think I should be doing something. As a lot of times by doing nothing, you'll be better off. One of the greatest books you want to read, I'm sure you can recommend it too, sir, is a title I just forgot.
O'Neill, How to Make Money.
What's the classic by Lefebvre, about Jesse, whatever his name was?
Oh, Jesse Livermore, Reminiscence of a Stock Operator.
Yeah, read that. And there's another one that Loeb wrote, something about, I don't know, investment battleground or something. This is
Yes.
and you also, guys, if you're going to be a trader, you can't focus on fundamentals. You got to focus on technical analysis. You got to learn that. You don't have to learn too much, but you got to learn that.
That was the crux of what I did. I did long short equity for the longest time. So I did create my own market timing, and I wrote a lot of code on TradeStation. And another great book is William O'Neill.
Oh yeah,
How to Make Money in Stock.
Absolutely.
Investors Business Daily. I still subscribe to
Investors Business Daily.
Market Surge, whatever they call it these days.
For those of you guys who don't know, William O'Neill started with, I think, a $500 pot and made himself a multimillionaire. And then he founded the Investors Business Daily, among other things.
I met William O'Neill in the early 90s when he came out and did a seminar in Boston. And I had no idea what I was learning and who this guy was at the time. He was still doing the dog and pony shows.
What you guys got to be careful of too. I'm sorry, what's your name, sir?
John Boston.
John, this guy's an experienced professional. If you want to start in this, keep it simple. Don't get involved with options. Trade equities. All right, learn that first. I always say keep it simple, stupid when it comes to investments, because it's not like the Olympics. You don't get points for difficulty. You want to make money, or you want to lose as little as possible. So,
and I think a great strategy for people. I play Palantir using the wheel strategy. So I will sell puts when Palantir is down at a lower price to get premium. Okay, and if the stock comes down and I get the stock put to me, I'm okay with it. Fine, that's what I wanted to do. And then I sell a call once I have the stock and make premium by selling the call. And if it gets taken from me, I just keep doing that. So
John, maybe there's a lot of people here that don't understand these terms, so you may want to explain them.
It's called.
Could you also speak up a bit, please? Could you speak up a bit?
It's called the wheel strategy.
So how far, because you said you know technical analysis and all that, you said not to go too deep. How deep would you go when it comes to technical analysis?
You're asking me, you're asking John.
Mandelbaum, go ahead, and then John.
And again, this is subject to what John says. I would say, and a lot of people say, the two most important things are price, action, and volume. I mean, there's all kinds of weird things you can get into called stochastics, Elliott waves, a bunch of other stuff. But I've done pretty well just with price action and volume, which means how's the price going up and down, and how many people are buying or selling.
And you,
I've been
John?
doing it since 2010.
Well, if you're going to do any kind of options, I highly recommend opening an account at Tastyworks and watch Tasty Trade, and do, especially if you're looking to do some kind of, selling options, credits, and that type of thing. They've got the best platform. You could set up an account for free. If you're doing equities, every time I buy a stock, it doesn't matter what it is. If I'm making money in it, I will sell calls against it. Or if I want to get more of it, I'll sell puts against it. I'm always looking to rent out my stock. And I know that you don't understand that, but if you're looking to grab an extra 0.5% or 1% a month, it makes all the difference.
There are also stocks that pay dividends that make their money from premiums on call options.
Yep.
Because I'm not licensed, I can't recommend any particular stock, but you can find those out, and that's kind of doing it the easier way.
Yeah. I think Investors Business Daily is probably one of the best places to go, because you could put a company that you're interested in and just type the symbol in, and it'll tell you what they rated on their system.
Seeking Alpha is pretty good too. I like that.
Which one?
Seeking Alpha.
Oh yeah, Seeking Alpha, exactly. Yeah, a lot of great content there too. And then, but when the market goes down, and I do a lot of market timing, so when the market goes down, I'm going to be out of those positions, and I'm going to clear the decks. I'm going to sell everything. And many times I turn it around, I go short, and I find companies that are going down, that are losing money, and I short those companies. I did that throughout 2007, 2008, that whole time frame and that collapse. I got short before the market sold off.
Need a little more volume, John. Maybe get closer to the mic.
Yeah, let me get a little closer.
That's better.
Yeah, when I back in 2020, when the market fell apart in 2020, I got a signal to go short the end of February, and I got short that market and then got long sometime in April, I think early April. But that's the kind of trading I do. I do long short equity, so it's a combination of that, plus I do options. I do it full time, so I'm pretty much involved in it. But
John, I think you'll agree though, for guys starting out, that shorts are very risky.
Shorts are very risky. They are. But if you got a company with no money, they're not making any earnings, and in this environment, when interest rates so high the way they are, once you get a sell-off, these things are all going to collapse.
Sounds like DJT to me.
What's that?
Sounds like DJT.
Yeah.
So what are your both of y'all's thoughts on stop losses, and how much room you give something to breathe, whether or not it's going to turn around on you, bite you in the ass, or if it's going to make you some money?
Let John answer that first, because he's the greater expert.
I tend to stay about 7-8% at max. I followed a lot of work from like Mark Minervini, and he tends to be even tighter at like 4 or 5%. He looks for pivot points. He looks for volume breakout. And even if you're wrong and you've got a 4 or 5% stop loss, you're going to be wrong 50% of your positions. But if you take those stop losses, you're going to make money. And if you don't take those stop losses, if you go down like 10-15% on your stocks, and even if you have stocks that do well, it's all math. So you're going to have a 50 to 60% best, profit margin thing on your percentage of stocks that are up or down. So it's important to take those losses and just become accustomed to those losses, because you're going to have them all the time. I took losses on a company that was going up. The VRT's been going up for a good year. And I was in it, I got out of it, I went back in it, and the position I just had in it, I got stopped out on. It's the way that it is.
Well, as John knows, William O'Neill in his book, How to Make Money in the Stock Market, recommends it was a 7 or an 8% stop loss.
A friend of mine, check this out. I don't know if this is serendipitous or not. a friend of mine was over, and I was telling him about this book. I don't know if you could see it.
Yep, that's it.
I think I'm in this.
Yeah.
William
it's
O'Neill's
good.
How to Make Money in Stocks.
That's the one.
Where can I find the book?
Get the latest edition, whatever that might be.
Yeah, I think it's like $13.
Where can I find them?
I bought
Online?
one for each of my kids.
No, it's
You got them
a
online?
great book.
Yeah, I would look on Amazon.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, Amazon has
okay.
it. Of course they do.
Yeah.
All right. What can I see the cover of the book again? I want to catch the title. You're holding upside down.
I put it the right way.
How to make money in stocks. All right. Thank you. I'll check it out.
Absolutely.
William O'Neill.
Now, on the contrary to that, because I used to use stop losses, I don't do them anymore. What I do is a little more dangerous. I'll give you an example. There was an Israeli shipping stock called Zim. Zim was paying crazy dividends. I had made decent money trading it and from the dividends. And then it tanked. It took a nosedive. It sank lower than a snail's ass. Now, the common wisdom, well, I should have had a stop loss. I should have got rid of it, but I didn't do it. I kept it for a while, and it went way back up again between the Houthis, causing problems in the Middle East and all the other stuff. And I sold it at a profit. So,
Nice.
But for the beginners, you want to have a stop loss, as William O'Neill recommends, and I think John will second it too, no more than 8% of the purchase price. There's also things called trailing stop losses too, or trailing limit orders, where it can follow a percentage of what the market's doing, what the price is doing.
And that's why I like to sell covered calls on my positions, because if you're gonna make 1 or 2% on the covered call, or let's say 1%, and you lose like 5%, 6% on the stock, at least you're making some of the money back on the option that you sold.
And for those of you who don't know what a covered call is, that's when you own the stock and you're selling an option to buy it at a later date at a certain price.
Some people call it a buy right.
That's compared to a naked option where you don't own the stock and then you have to acquire it if you're going to have to fulfill your option contract. Much more dangerous.
So are you a fan of trailing stops, Mandelbaum?
Nope.
So you just don't have any kind of trailing stops?
Don't follow my advice, folks. I do contrary stuff. I used to do it, but don't listen to me. Listen to a guy like John over here, because I violate a lot of the laws, but it works for me. When I say laws, I mean the rules of basic trading, not laws. But listen to a guy like John.
A strategy that I really like to do, that I've learned to do with the options, and it's been, like I said, I do a lot with the SPX, but some of the very liquid names like Tesla, Meta, Nvidia, and now Chipotle.
دولة الإسلام باقية بإذن الله باقية. دولة الإسلام باقية بإذن الله باقية.
I think I just lost you guys for a second. Well, I like to get these bigger companies.
How do you take this? How do you take him off of there?
That's one of the difficulties you're going to run into on StreamYard, Sam.
Absolutely.
You got to have a moderator that gives these guys a chop. There you go. Now, by the way, and John will back this up too, one of the things that William O'Neill said, correct me if I'm wrong, John, was that the stock range prices between like $15 and $30 is where he made the most money.
I think that's true, but a lot of the companies today are, it used to be $15 to $30.
Yeah, because he wrote that a while ago.
Yeah, he wrote.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you all?
Great. What's your name?
I am Tanisha. Tanisha? Yes, Tanisha Garrett. Let me plug my headphones. Okay. All right. Can you all hear me okay?
Yeah, I believe we can now.
Okay. Okay, great.
Have you had any wins in your life recently?
Any wins in my life? Yes, I have. gosh, well, it's been a lot. It's like been win after win. I got married in July of last year. My new husband got a promotion and relocated us to Nashville, Tennessee from Chicago, Illinois. And since I've gotten married, my business is booming only. It's now time for me to come home. So I will not be working anymore. I'll be a stay-at-home wife for a while. And life is just grand, and I'm so grateful.
Tanisha, can you adjust your camera a little bit? You're cutting your head in half.
Oh, shoot, I'm cutting.
There you
Okay.
go.
Hey there. Yes,
Right.
yes, I'm doing that. So I apologize. I'm actually at work right now at the salon that I work in, getting a client ready for a color service. So, yeah. Is George here?
Yes, George is over in the background. He's
Okay.
listening in. Absolutely.
Okay, fantastic. And so who am I speaking with?
I'm Samuel Risby. I run a
Okay.
couple of different social media pages. My biggest one
Okay.
is Sultan of Savage, a lot of George Bruno clips.
Excellent. Excellent.
Also have Mandelbaum on here and John Boston down
All
in
right.
the bottom.
Hello, John and Mandelbaum.
Yeah, everybody calls me by my last name.
Long time
Okay.
Sultan.
Microphone, John.
My time listening.
Microphone.
Okay. All right. And so is this, I just got the invite to this call a few moments ago. And George has been so instrumental in my life that when George sends me an invite to a call, I make it happen, even if I'm in the middle of something. So, yeah, that's why I'm kind of in the middle of it here. But I'm so grateful for the invitation. And so, how is everyone else winning? I'm on a, yep.
My biggest wins have been social media this month, and
Okay.
working on building the Clarity Club with George Bruno. That's going to be a big win for me and for him, I
Oh,
believe. Absolutely.
wonderful, wonderful. The Clarity Club. That I like the sound of that.
The home of the builders.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you have any questions for us at all?
Well, what is it? How did I get invited to this call? How did I get the invite? I'm honored.
Well, you have a
This-
business, you said.
Yeah. What kind of
I
business
do.
do you have?
Yes, I do. So I have a hair care business. Hair care. I do hair care. I do wellness coaching, kind of healthy lifestyle coaching. And so the hair care I do behind the chair. So I am a licensed braider. I'm not a cosmetologist like most. I think George is a cosmetologist and a barber. So yeah, I'm a braider. And so I focus on natural styles for ethnic, kinky, curly, textured hair. And the wellness coaching that I've been doing kind of spun off my amateur bodybuilding career. So I have not done anything in bodybuilding since the pandemic hit. But I still help people with meal plans and things like that.
Well, maybe you can help me with braiding.
Braiding, probably so. I do classes. I do classes for that, virtually and in person, but I can do a virtual class.
I could be the before photo.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like you have as much hair as my husband there. So,
We probably go to the same barber.
yes, I imagine so. Yeah. Okay. Tanisha is one of the OGs of this. Oh, George, I'm humble. Thank you. Yeah, so I've been supporting George's work for a long time. I cannot tell you guys how much he helped me with that Proverbs 31 woman video. Okay. So it was just, I mean, it was that, and then various of it, all of his work, George's body of work has really been life changing for me, and just kind of helped me to step into next level feminine education. Just kind of, he's helped me with my business.
Have you taken up pipe smoking yet?
I have not. No smoking for me. No smoking. Yeah, but I would say that what he taught was instrumental in the dating phase of, just really getting to know my husband. So I was really intensively listening to George's work between 2018 and 2020. And I had already met my husband, but we weren't seeing each other. And I mean, strategies that he laid out for me, I think were really helpful in getting me engaged by
Make sure you don't see any of the videos I did with George. Don't watch any of mine.
Don't watch any.
No. Make sure you don't see them.
I'll try to avoid those. But all his videos are so good. It's a matter of, just kind of learning to just see the big picture with things. A lot of women, a lot of women are struggling with just kind of really grasping information without judgment. People in general are struggling with that. And so, yeah, that's more about me. But I'm so grateful for what George is putting out there, and still learning, still sharing. I share all his videos with my brothers, and they've learned a few things. So.
Yeah, I think a lot of people feel that way about George. I know I get hundreds of messages every single day talking about how he's, the father that they never had and whatnot. And even from someone like myself who has a great dad, and a great father figure, he's still a great mentor to continue to give you hard deadlines and accountability to push you to the next phase in your life where you want to go. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes. And just like you, I do have a great dad too. Dad and I are really close, and we've gotten even closer since I met George. But bear with me, you all. I'm handling chemicals, so I got to put this mask on. Yeah, just bear with me. Okay.
But yeah, whether you have a great father or not, I think there's so much you can learn from everybody, including George. You just have to come at it with the right mindset.
Yes. Yeah.
Sam, you probably should everybody, especially George, not everybody, including George.
Well, either way, it's. I mean,
no more mentoring for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I get people messaging me every day about that. Thanking me that I'm sharing his content, and thinking, a lot of people think that I am George on my social media pages, and so I get all those messages.
Wow, just because of the nature of the content that you post, they think it's him.
Yes, and I also post a lot of videos of George as well. And so they think that it's him running the page, even though it's me behind the scenes. So I also try to help.
Difficulty here.
Try to help men going through breakups and divorces as well. Because I've been watching him for so long, I know a lot of things to say about it, and if I don't, then I just refer him over to them. I'll give him George's email or Instagram account, because we're just trying to help as many men as possible.
Yeah. Now, have you all gone through? Has everyone here used George's information to get through and overcome a breakup or a divorce or any of that?
Oh, help me, Jesus.
Not me.
Okay. Yeah. So George did help me through a breakup. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What is that? Did I put music on?
Your microphone's a little faint now, Tanisha.
Okay.
Let me just interrupt for 1 second. Ted, you're asking me about a book. I think it's Reminiscence of a Stock Operator. I think that's what you want to know.
Okay. All
Go
are
ahead.
invited to be on the stream. Okay. 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 All right. So I may have to go on, I may have to mute myself for a moment while I'm in the middle of this color service, but I will come back
You're fine.
and I'll be listening.
I lost my connection.
Are you back with us, John?
Yeah, sorry about that. I lost my connection.
Can you get closer to the microphone?
Yes, I
Much
am.
better. Much better.
All right. Should probably put a headset on.
But yeah, I mean, George has helped me go through a breakup, but for the most part, I just watch his content to try to avoid those relationships altogether, you know, because there's no point of listening to him if you're just going to jump right back into the pool of red flags, you know, and not listen to a thing he says.
Well, as they say in the Bible, Sam, you are wise in your generation.
Yeah, which is pretty sad. My generation is sad, man, but I'm going to do my best to try to build back a lot of men, build men stronger. I don't even know if a lot of them are considered men nowadays. They are biologically, but not.
Don't worry about them. Worry about you.
Absolutely.
That's right. Worry about yourself, you know.
And that's one thing about the Clarity Club that we're releasing really soon. It's for men of all ages to get to that next step in your life.
And is that going to be a Zoom thing or a StreamYard, or what's that going to be?
It's going to actually be on School. It's a community platform similar to Patreon or Discord, that kind of stuff. And I've been uploading courses to that. And
So that'll be a pre-recorded show, not a live?
It'll be pre-recorded lessons, and then people are going to pay us a monthly subscription to have access to that. It's going to be an ultra-private men's community focusing on all things regarding men, you know, relationships, making more money, getting unstuck, all of it.
What's the time frame on all of this?
July 8th is going to be our launch.
Okay.
July 8th is going to be the launch, and you'll be seeing a lot more about it on his page as well as mine.
Okay.
We're hyping it up more and more as every single day that it gets closer.
So if I'm on, so you're the guy that's doing the Sultan Savage.
Yes, I run all those accounts. Yes, I'm the owner
Okay.
of all those accounts. Yes.
Nice. Yeah, I've seen your work. Good job.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And
By
it's
the
gonna
way,
just-
I mentioned this in passing, Sam. I don't know if you're interested or not, but the work that you're doing now, if you wanted to, there are certain accredited universities you could get credit for having done this.
Okay.
One of the ones you might want to look at is Empire State University. Another one is the University of the State of New York, which is a legal entity and not a physical place. But you could get what they call a life assessment credit. Maybe a lot of credits towards a college degree. Even if you don't want one, you might be able to get that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll definitely look into that. I'll look into that. What are your thoughts on college and trade school and all that for the average man?
Which one of us are you talking to?
Mandelbaum, go ahead first.
Well, you're talking to a guy who skipped a bachelor's degree and went from an associate's degree to a Juris Doctor. So that kind of tells you what I think about education. The 3 years that, I did law school in 2.5 years. Those 2.5 years could have probably been compacted into 6 months, and I would have learned the same thing if they do it right. It's the same thing in military, too. I went to school for 60 weeks to become what I did in the military. They probably could have knocked it to half of that. The point being, a lot of education is padding. It's unnecessary. You know?
Absolutely.
As far as an entrepreneur goes, a college education, unless you have to get one for a certain profession, I say, the heck with that. You're better off with a trade.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends and relatives that are in the trades. I have 2 nephews that are union pipe fitters.
Oh, forget it.
And they've done really well. One is a welder now, and he's doing all kind of welding work. I never even knew about this, but he's doing welding work for a biomedical and medical welding, and they're usually very small welds that they do. They have to do a lot of testing on every single joint that they do. So they weld and then they wait, and they have to do all this testing because there's chemicals that are going through there. They're processing, medical stuff, whatever they're making. And it's quite lucrative. I was shocked to find out, how much he's making. And, he never went to college. And, both of my nephews who are in trades, they've been doing 6 figures for quite some time now.
If you could get into the unions, you're going to be set. But getting into the unions, you got to have a rabbi. And that's a term that I use that means you got to have a connection, either a relative or something else. Because everybody wants to get into the unions because you got tremendous benefits, you get tremendous pay. And, it's something you want to do to have your trade in. But getting in there,
and we're in Massachusetts, so despite the unions being, where they are, a lot of people are leaving the unions because the dues have just, from what I understand, the dues have gotten to be so expensive that they don't think it's worth staying in. But my thought is, well, you probably should, because when you get into the retirement phase, or if you get hurt, you want those union benefits.
Well, the reason why the dues are so expensive is they got to post bail for the leaders.
Probably.
I always said behind every union is a FBI guy on the 3rd floor. But no, it's a great way to go if you can get it.
How are you doing today, sir?
Doing well. How are you?
Doing pretty good. Would you like to introduce yourself to everybody here?
Sure. I'm Drew. Kind of one of the, usually on as a moderator on a lot of the live streams for George. So figured I'd jump on. I was trying to think
tell us what you're smoking, Drew.
Oh, yeah, a little Savinelli, inspired by George. And
What's in it?
This is stuff I got from the Virginia Tobacco Company called, it's called Kahlua. I don't know if it really tastes like Kahlua, but that's what it's called.
So you're an aromatic guy?
I am, yep.
Well, when you get older, we'll get you into English.
That sounds good. Yeah, so anyway, I was thinking of a win, I guess, lately. And one thing I feel really fortunate to be able to do is give people jobs. So I have a small consulting company, but next week we're going to, just start as a couple of, 2 guys, 3-4 years ago during COVID, and turned into now we're going to have our 5th person join the team. So that feels pretty good. I count that as a win.
You're a placement
That's
agency?
great.
Yeah.
That's
in
awesome.
your state, do you have to be licensed to do that?
No. Nope. In the People's Republic of Wisconsin, you do not need that. That's one thing you don't need.
I guess you're the big cheese.
Right? Yeah, there you go. There you go. No, but always enjoy George's channel, the content. I can't even think of one piece of content, but when you think of the sum of everything he's put out, it's a pretty amazing catalog of work, and I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. I think we all do, and I do as well.
Absolutely. Great content. I think I started following George. I think it must have been maybe 2017. around that time. I think he just made this. I think he was still doing the pipe and beards at the time, or beard channel. And I don't have a beard, so
There's still time,
it
John.
probably was after that. Yeah, there's still time. But it's funny, you guys also.
If you started growing it then, just think of what it would look like now.
Oh my God, I know, right? You know, it's you guys talk about pipes, and I remember going to Italy, and my grandfather, a lot of his friends, they all smoked pipes, and I remember my grandfather had all these old Italian pipes, and God knows whatever happened to them, but they're probably collectibles today.
Yeah, it's a rabbit hole you can go down between the hardware, I guess I'll call it, and the tobacco itself. You can really, yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. But I don't smoke. I've never smoked like cigarettes. I left mine in the machine like Rodney Dangerfield.
I did once, threw up, and never touched it again.
Yeah, I think that was about my experience sometime around 1985 or so.
Yeah.
So what are your top 3 favorite tobaccos for beginners?
Ooh. I'm probably the wrong person to ask. I did get some, one I really liked early on that I thought was a pretty easy smoke. Three Kings, I think it's a Cornell and Deal blend. That's pretty good. I thought that one was super easy. Starting out, that one was super easy. That's probably the only one I can give you. This other stuff I got, it's pretty easy to smoke. I think anybody could probably, could probably try it. I think the key is just to have, I start off with a couple like kind of junk pipes, and getting like something good makes all the difference in how good it smokes and how long it smokes. And there's definitely something to it.
So where in Wisconsin are you?
Just outside. I'm kind of rural out in the country, but I'm in between Madison and Milwaukee, right off the interstate.
Okay. I used to go to Milwaukee quite a bit. I used to work for Rockwell Automation many years ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So, I've been to that clock tower, had met plenty of meetings up at that clock tower and looking out and seeing the baseball field where the Brewers play. Yeah.
Brewers games are great times. A lot of great concerts over there. Summerfest is coming, so that's a huge festival, and so yeah, it's good. I'm outside of Planet Madison, but close enough to get into it or go to Milwaukee pretty easy.
Yeah.
So Sam,
I used to go there.
Sam, you asked about 3 tobaccos for beginners.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Did the gentleman from Wisconsin want to chime in first?
I did. I gave you a couple, I guess.
Which one? I didn't hear. I was gone. What did you say?
Three Kings, Cornell and Deal, I think is a really good one to start with. It's an easy smoke. That's the main one I guess I would suggest. Anything else I have, I don't know. I think it's fine for beginners. That's a good one.
Okay. I'd suggest one you don't go near is Captain Black. But the beginners usually like the aromatics, and you don't want to spend a lot of money. So some of the OTC, which stands for over-the-counter tobaccos and stuff you get at a drugstore, used to be able to, it depends until your palate gets more sophisticated. Plus, you got to find out if you like it or not.
Right.
You don't want to start out with English tobaccos. I don't know, Sam, you know what the term English tobacco means?
A little bit, but go ahead.
You'll know in 2 seconds. Usually it's a mixture of latakia, which is not a tobacco. It's a processing of a tobacco, hanging it over smoky fires. There's some Virginia, and there's what they call Orientals, some tobaccos from the Levant area in different mixtures. It is not aromatic, it is not sweet smelling, and it's not, I would say, for a beginner. It's an acquired taste. I mean, I would compare like aromatics are the beer of tobacco, and Englishes are the single malt scotches. End of lecture.
Awesome. George is the king of beards. Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
The king of beards, yes.
And not to be confused with the king of beers, which Budweiser certainly isn't.
The champagne of beards.
There you go.
By the way, if you saw George's little short today, I guess that was in the car. He trimmed his beard down. He looks about 5-10 years younger.
Yes, the Summer of Savage.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, he paid me to say that, folks.
Oh yeah.
No, it's true.
So what's the word of the month going to be? We had Shred Timber, Pecktober.
It's going to be July. No, I told the truth.
Yes, he did make a short today. It was called the Summer of Savage. His daybreak shows are going to start back up in July, and they are going to be pretty savage. And you'll be sure to see them on my pages as well.
Yeah.
Those clips.
You know that one that he did, 13 things. I think it's 13 things to do after a breakup. And he was talking. It was on one of the. He did it once on Daybreak. He did it another time as a video. I was on a men's team for quite some time, and I lost track how many times I sent that out to another man that was going through some kind of hardship, and sent that. I said, "You got to listen to this guy," and it's like they didn't want to at first, but then they listened to it and they're, wow, he makes a lot of sense.
Well, don't forget the experience and the education he's had.
Yeah.
As a professional, he's not one of these, guys who say the same thing every show, which you can learn in 1 hour.
No.
Not to mention any names, of course.
Yes, that video is a really good video. And then another one I send out a lot is the conversations you must have before getting married. That was a live stream that he still has on his page from a couple years ago. And there's a lot of knowledge and insights in that one as well.
Yeah, the other thing before getting married is don't do it.
Yeah, just don't do it. Now I know you're doing the quick YouTube things with George. I don't understand this algorithm because years ago he was building up a base of subs, and the subs kept going up and up and up and up, and then all of a sudden it's like they just got cut. I don't know how that happens. I don't know why YouTube does that. But
YouTube is pretty big on censorship. I've noticed that. I think I went from like 12,000 subscribers up to 20-something thousand. And then I posted a video. It was about politics. Wasn't talking about which side. I was just talking about politics. And after that, my growth is completely stunted on YouTube. You can make the argument that it's not. It's definitely correlation. I don't know if it's a causation, but it's definitely kind of odd,
Well, don't forget what YouTube is. I mean, YouTube is a business. They're looking for advertisers. That's how they make their money.
Absolutely.
So that gives them the opportunity to regulate content, unfortunately.
So I remember a while back, George put out kind of the caller a video where he talking about looking for people to share his content. Ben, is that how you got? Is that you saw that video and that you responded to that basically?
Yep.
Is that how that worked?
Yeah, last year I saw that video, and I already had a couple of his videos downloaded. And that same day, I started editing them up. I didn't even add captions at first, and I just started posting them. And then after a while, I saw the growth continue, and then I figured it was time to take it to the next step, start adding captions. And now we're starting to get into copyright-free music and whatnot in the background. And it's kind of just a process. You get the basics down and you just keep on adding a step to it and adding a step to it. And the next thing you know, you're taking off, and it's some pretty good content.
Well, I think that's great. It's important that, you can imagine how many people probably saw that and thought about it, but it's all about execution. So good on you for doing that.
Absolutely. And I knew a lot of people were going to start doing it. And I knew that I just had to continue. I just had to outpost them, outdo it. Obviously, I want them to do well as well. I want them to do good. I want them to win. But I wanted to explode my page just to show everyone that it can be done. Before, just like I know a couple people started and then they kind of stopped, and there's still several that are continuing to post this content, and I encourage them to. but I just want to be a testament that you can do it. It just takes time, and you have to be passionate about it.
Yeah, that's great.
As far as the algorithm goes, YouTube is kind of the only one that I have not fully mastered yet. Instagram, I've gotten pretty good with that, especially with titles and where to put emojis. If you ever use emojis, that changes your engagement. If you put them before the title, after the title, different AI hashtags, depends on which AI platform you use as well. Some of them you can ask to do like a deep dive into all the trends going on right now, and it'll pick you out a couple different hashtags that are the best to go viral that day or of that week. And just kind of using all of that to your advantage is how you can be one step ahead of everybody else. And I know YouTube now has a feature where you can compare and contrast. So you can upload like 2 or 3 different thumbnails per video, and it'll show a percentage of each subscriber base, a different thumbnail. Whichever one gets clicked the most, then it'll go ahead and put that on your video for the rest of them.
Oh, look, Tony Bruno's here.
Yeah, we got another Bruno in the house. He's the fasting champion.
That's right.
He did a. I'm gonna get this wrong. I think he did like a 7 or 10-day fast.
Yeah, it was
and
like
using mostly electrolytes and bone broth.
Yeah, it was that Dana White fast.
Okay.
Yeah. And he lost a lot of weight.
Not that he had to lose weight, but
no, he didn't. And he lost, was it like 13 or 16 pounds, something crazy like that?
How much did he gain back when he went off of it?
I have no idea.
Wow.
The trouble with those extreme diets is what you're basically doing. A lot of times you're losing water weight, and then just when you start eating again, you're going right back. Whereas intermittent fasting, I think I love that. That's helped me lose weight. Like a 16-hour window between eating.
Yeah.
I have the I use that I have one of those stupid devices that I got. Somebody gave it to me, one of those listening devices like Alexa, whatever it is. And when I'm done eating, I tell it to start a 24-hour timer. And it's amazing. I'll get to like 23 hours. And I've been realizing that the longer I go, the easier it is for me to do the one meal a day. For the past few weeks, I've been doing one meal a day. But it's taken some time to build up to it. Because I used to set the timer and 16 hours later I wanted to eat. Now I can get to like 23 hours. So 24 hours.
Yeah, when I was young, I did a couple of 7-day fasts, and after like the second day, there was no problem. And if you fast for over 90 days, you'll never have a problem with hunger.
Yeah.
The dirt nap. Gentlemen, I got to run. Appreciate you inviting me on.
Nice
Thank you
meeting
for coming
another
on.
pipe smoker.
Yeah, thank you for coming on, Drew. We appreciate you.
Thanks.
Even though you
Have
smoke
a good night.
aromatics, you're a nice guy.
Absolutely.
I think we lost Tenacia a while ago.
Yeah, we did. I think it's about
Obviously, she wasn't tenacious.
I think it's about time to wrap everything up anyways for this first episode, this first live stream. But I appreciate all of you guys coming on. And
I appreciate you inviting me on. I saw the text, and I'm like, oh, George says come on in. Why not?
Absolutely. And you're welcome to come on anytime. You too, Mandelbaum. And we just will continue to stack wins. We'll have some different themes, for upcoming episodes. This was kind of a spur of the moment type thing. But I appreciate all you guys for tuning in, and hope to see you guys again in the future. Okay.
You're doing great at 19, kiddo. You should be very proud of yourself.
Thank you. I appreciate
excellent.
you.
Excellent. Good work.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You have
a
great
night, guys.
Yep,
Be
you
well.
Too. Make sure you keep on stacking those wins. Okay.
That's right.
All right. I'll see you guys later.
Good night. Take care.
Take care.
get out of here. Get out, leave, stay, and can't get out of here. Okay, do it the hard way. Boom.